What's up, guys? So in a peculiar turn of events, yesterday I discovered that there was something odd about the benchmarks in last week's showdown between the GTX 1060 and RX 480. They were wrong. That's right, last week I got up here in front of this camera and openly lied to all of your faces. Unintentionally, of course. You see, to my knowledge, the results in last week's video were completely 100% accurate, otherwise I wouldn't have made them public. I did think some of the results seemed strange at the time, and for those I reran the tests again and again and wound up with the same results, so I confided in the data as reviewers often do. Then yesterday I was in the midst of benchmarking this custom RX 480 from PowerColor, which meant I was also retesting the reference RX 480 and GTX 1060 since it would be their first time on my new 6950X testbed. Well, as it turns out, the numbers for both cards were significantly different from the ones I documented just a week prior, particularly the GTX 1060 score seeing a tremendous performance boost of up to 40% in certain titles and 68% in 3D Mark Time Spy. What? Huh? Yeah. I seriously wish I could explain how or why this happened, but it's kind of difficult to investigate where the issue originated when my old testbed has essentially been scrapped away for this new one. Sure, it's fitted with a different CPU, motherboard, and RAM, but there's no way those swaps alone would have made such a catastrophic difference in our card's gaming performance. The 6950X is even clocked slightly lower than my 5820K was. All I can think of for now is that the previous testbed had some bad or corrupted graphics drivers that were making the cards tank harder than Diva on a payload. Whatever the reason may be, I can now confirm that the results from last week's video are in fact inaccurate, and I deeply apologize for any confusion they may have caused. When I stumbled upon this discovery, I immediately notified you guys on Twitter and started to retest all 12 benchmark titles. Needless to say, the fight between the GTX 1060 and the RX 480 is far from over. Hell, it hasn't even begun yet. So consider today's video the official showdown of these mid-range cards. Both GPUs are using the latest drivers and same manual overclocks as the last video. Likewise, all the same games are being run at identical quality settings. The only thing that's really changed here is the testbed hardware and the absence of some royally corrupt variable to fudge up our numbers. So for what it's worth, and hopefully the last time we'll have to see them for a while, here are the benchmarks. Again. So if you remember correctly, some of these results haven't moved much since last week, while others have changed significantly. To give us an overall picture, I added up all the frames generated by each card at 1920 by 1080 and 2560 by 1440, then took the averages to see how they stacked up at the two resolutions. The GTX 1060 leads across the board by 10% at Full HD and around 7% at the higher resolution, flexing its speed over the RX 480. Next, I totaled up all the frames in our testing and sorted them by API in order to depict DirectX 11 versus DirectX 12 performance. Again, NVIDIA takes home a victory point with a 14% lead in DirectX 11, but our RX 480 barely edges out its rival by 0.5% in DirectX 12. Now, it's definitely not the landslide victory that we saw in last week's video, but it still demonstrates the benefits of Polaris's hardware-level support for async compute engines. At the start of this video, I half expected that all of this new and accurate data would lead me to draw drastically different conclusions about these two cards, but after seeing the legitimate numbers, I stand by my initial official claim that the GTX 1060 is the faster GPU overall, especially with DirectX 11 still dominating the mainstream. Likewise, it's only a matter of time before DirectX 12 and Vulkan eclipse the older API, and at that point, AMD could have the upper hand with asynchronous compute hardwired in. Pascal would be in a tough spot, relying heavily on software and drivers to get the job done, which is really only half the battle. Future-proofing is definitely something to consider here, but if your main focus is on the present, today we've seen these cards really trade blows in a wide range of titles, with the GTX 1060 taking home larger winnings, but at a higher price. That is gonna wrap it up for now, guys, but let me know whether today's benchmarks have swayed your stance on this heated rivalry of the two GPUs, and don't forget to toss me a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Use your feet, use your feet. There we go. Before you go, check the description below where you'll find soft things to shield the world from your unsightly bust. And don't mind my Amazon affiliate link down there. Don't mind it at all. For now, I'm Kyle with Awesome Sauce Network. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more tech stuff coming at you really soon. And I will see you all in the next video. Oh, the lawnmowers! Shut up out there, lawnmowers! The video's over, who cares?